But speaking of COVID, we know that it did affect a lot of summer camps over the past few years. In fact, according to the ACA, the average cost of day camp now has more than doubled to $178 a day compared to about $76 last year. For more on this, let's bring in our guest, Tom Rosenberg, the American Camp Association President and CEO. Thank you for joining us. So first of all, the top expenses that are now driving some of these prices up, and are there any ways to relieve some of these parents in terms of perhaps financing?
Well, yeah, the cost of providing camp, just like everything else right now, is really going up. We've had increases in labor. We've labor costs, food costs, program supply costs, COVID-related costs. Everything has gone up. So camps are trying to operate at scale this summer, which is different from the past two summers. But there will be an additional expense. Most camps are having to pass along some price increases to families.
We saw the specifics there on how much day camps have increased, almost doubled. How about sleepaway camps, and what's been the biggest challenge? Why are those prices increasing so high?
I would say labor is one part of it. Certainly, there's a shortage of qualified staff to work in camps, and so we're trying to hire as many staff as we can to operate at scale as possible. But also the cost of insurance. Think about property casualty insurance, and in a youth market, it's a very hard market right now, and has been for some time. It's only getting worse. Also, we have windstorm and fire and things like that are affecting camps across the country. So. But also there are just, this summer, camp directors in overnight camps, for example, are really hoping that they can count on getting the food that they order on time so that the menu that they planned will actually happen. So last year they were juggling a lot of things to make that happen with the supply logistics challenges that were occurring. So the good news is camp is going to happen at scale, as at scale as possible. So millions of children can once again go to day camp and overnight camp. Like typically pre-pandemic, that was 26 million boys and girls. And demand for camp is soaring right now. So we're doing our best to manage costs as well as we can, but prices are going up. And I would say demand is outstripping supply in a big way right now.
So I was going to ask then, once you have this sort of the labor shortages and these other pressures, how much has it changed pre-pandemic versus now in terms of the people trying to get into camps and just how much you're able to accommodate people?
Well, there's 74 million school-age children in the United States, I believe, and pre-pandemic we were serving about 26 million of them. There are a lot of children out there who have not yet had the privilege of attending a day camp or attending an overnight camp, and we're very much aware of that. We're working really hard to find funding for more kids to go to camp. We also need to build more camps and grow camps to increase their capacity. Even the United States Department of Education has provided summer learning dollars available for kids who have been most disproportionately affected by the pandemic through ESSER funding, through the state superintendents and the local superintendents. So we're trying to create summer learning opportunities like camp for all kids. But right now we've got lots of new families who have never had their children attend camp, lots of families who have been sending their kids to camp for years. Everyone wants to go to camp this summer. There's never been a more essential time for children and youth to have access to summer learning experiences like camp.
Yeah, a lot of kids have not had any socialization the last 2 or 3 years. You get a sense of how much the pandemic is still factoring in at both day camps and sleepaway camps. Are we talking about masks, social distancing, limited numbers, or are we back to pre-pandemic camps?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's plan and prepare for whatever comes this summer. No one that I know has a crystal ball and understands what variant might or might not affect us this summer. So camp directors are always prepared to the best of their ability to manage communicable disease. So this summer, we know from two summers, from summer of 2020 and the summer of 2021, we know that, how to operate day and overnight camps safely. And this is time-tested research from outside researchers. So This summer, we have access to the vaccine. Many camps are asking parents to please make sure that their kids are vaccinated if they're eligible. They're asking their staff to please consider being vaccinated if they're eligible. There's also pre-camp testing. We're seeing this in schools where basically pre-camp testing, and also for like a day camp, there may be opportunities during different parts of the day camp experience when they're asked to be tested as well. But in addition to that, depending on what we see this summer, they should be ready with all of the multi-layered mitigation strategies that we employed in the summer of 2020 for those camps that did operate, which about 20% of overnight camps operated in the summer of 2020, and about 40% of day camps operated in the summer of 2020. In 21, we had closer to 100%. Most overnight camps were able to operate, and most day camps were able to operate, but they didn't operate at scale. Yeah. This summer, we hope they'll operate at scale. But we've got to have those multi-layered mitigation strategies like masking, behavior change before you come to camp, all kinds of sure. All these different layers of strategies we have to be ready to implement them.
Tom, how much are they still making up for losses in the pandemic, and that is a result in these prices?
That's a great question. I would say that right now camps are really just trying to ameliorate the effects of their costs this year. Camps are really hurt in summer 2020. Many overnight camps did not operate. Many day camps did not operate. They went a whole year without revenue, and so through PPP and other programs, they were able to get some relief, but there has been no industry-wide relief like there has been for restaurants or for Broadway shows and other industries like that. So here we are in a time when it's kind of a difficult situation because we're being asked to scale as much as possible to serve as many kids across our country as possible. Yet camps have been really hurt in the pandemic. So to a great extent right now, they're just trying to manage the increasing costs of operating in this year. But they also have working capital challenges. They also have improvements that they would like to make to their camp, but probably you're going to have to pause on those improvements because of the other challenges that they're facing. At the end of the day, the key to a high-quality camp is having high-qualified staff who are well-trained, who really love working with kids and understand how to do all of that. It's also about having a safe and healthy facility and having a high-quality program to really keep the kids engaged and help them sort of reignite their 21st century learning skills.
All right. Tom Rosenberg, American Camp Association President and CEO. Appreciate your time. Thank you.